So, sorry, just taking a little drink here. And no, it's not whiskey. The question for today is, can cheap cymbals sound good? And maybe even expand on that and say, can a cheap drum set sound good? Because this drum kit that I'm about to play on is a 20-inch bass drum, 12-inch rack tom, 12 by 8, and a 16 by 16 floor tom. I'm not sure on the dimensions of the bass drum. I'd say it's a 20 by 14. Does not have the front head on it because it came with stripped lugs on the front and no front hoop and no claws and no tension rods. I guess they took them off when they stripped out the things and threw them out, lost them, whatever. But I got the kit for a trade for a snare that I paid $20 for. So pretty far ahead of the game on that one, I think. I love the wrap, the color, the kit itself. I love that it's a 6 lug, 20-inch, because you could tune it down pretty low with 6 lugs. So hopefully it's going to be my all-purpose drum. It definitely needs to have the lugs replaced. I have a bunch of lugs left from a drum I dismantled and got rid of a while back, so it's not going to cost me anything for that. I've got the lugs, the tension rods, and the claws, and I've actually got 3 different hoops to choose from, believe it or not. I don't know if you can see this in the camera, but this hoop is not the one that belongs to the drum. The one that belongs to the drum is actually steel. I put this one on there. I had a blue sparkle hoop hanging around from something else that somebody gave me. So I might put a re-ring in this kit. I don't know yet. I'm not sure how it's going to sound. I definitely have to change the front feet on it. They are no good. They barely even touch the ground, and they don't support it at all. So this thing is basically on the ground. So not a very good example of a cheap drum kit because of the bass drum at the moment. Future videos, I will show you what it sounds like after I'm done fixing it up. But the toms are very, very muffled because even though this is a cheap drum kit and I went sideways on that, it's about the cymbals. And to be really clear, it's a cheap drum kit with a snare that's worth more than everything here. It's about an $800 snare, I guess. It's a Ludwig LM402, 6.5 by 14, John Bonham-esque, with an emperor on top and a set of 42 strand snares on the bottom, so it's pretty snary. So let's go over the cymbals. This 22 here is a Zilco by Asco, made in Canada. And what happened was the Zildjian brothers, well, one was making the K, started making the Ks in Canada, I guess. I'm not sure if I have this story right, but he started making the Ks in Canada, and that's when they had the falling out or the separation or whatever. The Zildjian brothers split up, and Sabian was formed from that factory. Because he said, I like it here, I want to stay in Canada, I don't want to come back. So he's got the family the bronze formula that they've been using for centuries. Or took it, I should say, because he's gone now. But I believe, God, I'm not even sure if I have this story right, but the gist of it is correct. So Sabian came from this company, but Zilco stood for Zildjian Company. And Asco, I'm not sure what the meaning was there, or anyway, but it's Canada stuff, and the Zilco cymbals in particular, I guess, were kind of like factory seconds. They didn't quite meet the criteria for Zildjians or the Ks or whatever. So they labeled them Ascos and Zilcos rather, and I guess they were selling them to like Ludwig and other drum companies who bundled them with their drums. So you can see the hammering on it for sure. Looks to me like mostly machined hammering. Hard to tell with this patina. It's got a beautiful patina on it. And this cymbal cost me exactly $0. I got it with a kit, a pearl fiberglass kit that a woman gave me. She had it on Marketplace, and I asked her some questions about it. She obviously had no idea. It was her husband who's deceased. And I told her, put this in the ad, put that in the ad so people know to find it and what you have there. It's very unusual. A lot of people came by because the kit needs a lot of work and didn't want it. So she just messaged me one day because I was nice and said, look, you can come take it. So it had this cymbal with it. And I'm restoring that kit. It's a beautiful fiberglass. The fiberglass just sounds amazing, but I get sidetracked too easy. This is a 22 Zilco that came with it. This one is a Tosco Super T. Again, I got this one free. Super T, I can't find anything on this, but I know the T is the Tosco T. So this is pre-UFIP. This is pre-Sabian. This is pre-UFIP. And they're an Italian cymbal manufacturer who make beautiful cymbals. And from this time period, I guess it depends. You know, sometimes you get a good one, sometimes you get a bad one, just like these. Just like Zildjian Constantinoples. Some of those can sound really ugly, and some of them can sound great. Regular Zildjian K, same thing. So really, it's not necessarily about the name of the cymbal. I'm just in everything. A little description on these. Look at the patina on this thing. Somebody spit up or something on it. I don't know. Too much beer. These are made in Germany, and they're called Soundvaders. It's a 20-inch ride crash. They don't even say crash ride. And these are Soundvaders as well. Hi-hat, top and bottom. Fairly thin on top. Bottom one's a little heavier. 14-inch, if I didn't say that already. Soundvader was supposedly made by Paiste. Not really positive on that. I can't find any proof, but that seems to be what most people say. These are definitely not B20. I would say they're B8. And having said that, I would also say that if there's anybody who knows how to make a B8 sound good, it's Paiste. And I think these actually sound pretty good. And I'm going to go through these one at a time. The hi-hats, they sound good. I'm not going to say they sound great. I'm going to say they sound good. Depending on your use, depending on your application, what you want them for. I don't think I'd want them for jazz. But they do have a hell of a chick, though, so I don't know. But they're a little bit bright, a little overpowering. I wouldn't want to use them in an acoustic setup. This cymbal, though, this ride crash, I would probably label it the opposite way and call it a crash ride, because I'm going to start with that one. It's a hell of a crash. This really opens up. Just slightest tap and it's crashed. I gotta say, this cymbal sounds amazing to me. Maybe it's just my ears, but if I had to go on a gig and just take one cymbal, I think this would be it. Not that I dig anywhere anyway, but, and I'm also using a small ball-tipped stick to go with a nylon acorn. Obviously a much different sound. These are the head sticks, the aluminum ones with the nylon covering. This Tosco also opens up really nice. And this has got a lot of hammering, a lot of stick definition. I don't even want to hit it with your heads right now. So another cymbal really does work as a crash ride. It's a beautiful cymbal. It really is. I saw a video of the man playing, not the Pearl kit that I got, but his wife showed me a video of him playing his 80s, I believe it was, or maybe 78. And he sat in with a band at a big birthday bash they had for somebody, like a banquet. It was almost like a wedding. And he sat in and played some and did a little solo. And even at 78, this guy could play. I wish I could play like that at 58, never mind 78. Well, I'm 59 actually now. So, again, Tosco Super T. I'll try and weigh it and put in the description how many grams it is, but man, that's a nice cymbal. The Zilco has a dent in it. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. It's right here. Somebody obviously dropped something on it. Didn't crack it, but you can actually see the indent on the other side too. But this, again, nice cymbal. It opens up when you get into it. It's a 22, so it's going to take a little more to get that metal vibrating, I should say bronze, vibrating, of course. Smallish bell for a 22. This has definitely got a small bell. In fact, this one's got a considerably larger bell. Going through my sticks here, which one's which? Can't tell one from another. Okay, back to the ball tips. bright. Really bright. They quiet up a bit with a little bit of pressure. Nice sound, actually. That's got a nice build to it. Still going. This is a brute. What do you guys think? I mean, can cheap cymbals? I mean, cheap. Paid zero, paid zero. These two actually came. So the story behind these, interesting story. I saw on Marketplace a Mapex drum kit for $70. So I was like, I'll come pick it up. Hell, for $70, it's worth it for the parts. It's actually a pretty nice kit. It's their V series. It's not high end, but it's a nice entry level basswood, probably basswood poplar or mix, maybe set of drums. They're wrapped with a really cool wrap. I haven't fixed them up yet. Still have to do that. They've got the lightweight lugs, as they call them. The front head has got a hole in it. And all the heads need to be replaced, but it did come with the snare as well, and it came with, I don't want to confuse this. This cymbal came with this set. Sorry, so 0, 0 paid for this. Is that right? No. This one and this one came together. These, the Sound Invaders, came with the Mapex kit. The Mapex kit, same day, I sold the snare that I paid $31 for on Shop Goodwill or Goodwill Finds, I forget which. But I paid $31 for this Mapex piccolo snare, and I sold it to a guy up in Milford, PA for $70 the same day that I bought the other set for $70. So I paid $31 for the Mapex kit with these cymbals. So if you want to say the cymbals are worth half of it, these are worth, I paid $15.50 for these. $100 drum kit. Forget what I paid for the snare because that's not part of this again. But pretty nice setup. You can really get some deals on Marketplace. And if you wheel and deal and hustle and you got a little bit of space, unfortunately I'm always running out of space and end up having to get rid of kits and that sometimes I'd like to keep, but I'd like to try to keep the flow going where I did a video a few months back how I got my drum kit. I estimated my drum kit value, I think, at $3,700 for the video with my cymbals and the pedals and the racks and the 7-piece kit plus the snare and everything else. And I think I paid $500 to $600 for it out of my pocket. And that included what I had flip drums for at the time. And the point is, you don't have to spend a ton of money to get decent drums, decent cymbals. You never know what you're going to find when you show up at somebody's house. And sometimes the cymbals are the thing. If you're looking on Marketplace, you're looking to buy drum kits, you're looking to buy cymbals, look for people selling drum kits, especially if they spell the word cymbals wrong. They probably don't know what they're talking about. Or if they put drums and nothing else, and you look at it, and all right, maybe it's just a cheap beat-up Pearl export kit or something. Power toms from the 80s, and the heads haven't been changed in 30 years, but who cares? Look at the cymbals. There might be, some Peisty giant beats on there or something, or some Zildjian. I picked up Zildjian new hats several times from people selling fairly cheap drum kits, and it was outfitted with all Zildjian A's or, whatever. I haven't found any K's on a good deal, but those people seem to know what they have. But point is, there's plenty of stuff out there. And not just Marketplace, I happen to use that the most, but when you go on Reverb, if you're looking for stuff that you need, that you're looking for a specific thing, it's great. And it's great for selling stuff, but not so great if you're looking for deals and you're looking to flip drums, because people on there pretty much know what they have. Marketplace, they don't. Craigslist, they don't. Not saying you should be ripping people off at all, but if somebody's selling something and they're happy to get $300 for it, and you're happy to pay $300 for it, and it's a drum kit that's worth much more than that after you put your time and effort into it, because it does take a lot of effort to, like this kit I got for $100. It didn't have these Evans EC2S heads on it, I could tell you that. I put those on. I actually had them laying around, but I had bought them originally. I'm just not using them on my other kit right now. So there's Evans EC2s on the top and bottom on the 16 and Genera Rezo on the bottom on this one. I actually have a G1 I'm going to put on the bottom. I'm not sure I like the EC2 on the bottom. Again, I got it severely muffled. I got the internal muffler on as well as this little Pearl gizmo. But I'm really looking forward to having this kit all set up. But hopefully you guys enjoy this. Again, this one's about the cymbals mostly, but it's also about, can you get cheap drums and cheap cymbals to sound good? And as the cheap drum guy, shout out to the cheap drum guy, Todd Taylor, maybe? Anyway, his name's Todd. He does a lot of videos about doing cheap drums and what you can get. And he's great. He's an up-and-coming YouTube drummer. He's not drumming much longer than me. I think he had about a year experience when he was a teenager, and then about 2 years now, I guess he's been playing. Maybe a year, I'm not sure. He's definitely further along than I am, but he also has full use of both hands, so that probably helps. And he probably has feeling in his feet, which I don't. And if you don't know me, these 3 fingers, I don't feel them well, and I can move them, but there's no strength there, so I am gripping my stick here. I could kind of keep it where I want it, but that's why I have these on here, on all my sticks. It's self-sticking adhesive bandage, it's kind of like an ace bandage, but it sticks to itself, and it's got a little tackiness to it. That's where I wear the gloves, and I also have neuropathy in my hands and my feet, so I can't feel where the stick is sometimes. This helps me keep it in my hand, so I don't lose it, because believe it or not, the right one is the one I lose more, because I'm more conscious about holding this one. But I can't control it. It's all over the place. Anyway, enough about me. I'm going to play through this one more time. If you're still listening, you're probably not. Probably the only one that's going to hear my voice is the future me. So, hi me. And again, check out Cheap Drum Guys and a couple other guys I want to give a shout out to. You want to see somebody that's really good technical drummer. Mike Lewis. It's M-Y-K-E. It's at Mike Lewis Music. Al's Drum Hang, you should definitely check out if you're a newer drummer, or if you're not. He's got great information. And then lastly, I don't want to get his name wrong, the Vegas Alien. I think he's got a number in his hashtag on YouTube, but it's Vegas Alien. Just do a search for Vegas Alien drums, and he'll probably come up. So the cheap drums guy, Vegas Alien, Mike Lewis, and Al's Drum Hang. Al has an incredible wealth of knowledge. Mike Lewis is great just for watching drum covers. He doesn't do a lot of informational stuff, but the other guys do a lot of informational stuff. And I can't recommend them enough. So thanks for watching.